I'm working on the light component that I'm going to be using in a bunch of places throughout this scene. Like, I've got it in these string lights and candles and a few other places. And it has to look nice indoors and outdoors and in this background area. And every time I make a little change to the component, I kind of have to look and test it everywhere I'm using it within the scene. And that's getting really slow, and I might miss one and do something ugly and not notice. So this is a good opportunity to do some visual testing. So I've set up an artboard right here, which is called Test Light, and I've added some screenshots of the main scene, some interior and exterior areas, and some exterior where it's warm light, exterior where it's cool light, this background which is going to be a little bit different because you've got the fog, and then a underwater scene because I think I want to do some like glowy little bioluminescence. So what I'm going to do here is create a whole bunch of variations that I might have of the light. So I'm going to do the light here. We can make this one just the normal default version. I'm holding Option Shift and dragging to create another one. Let's do this one. Oh, don't think the inputs are exporting to the artboard. They are. So I should be able to see, there we go. I should be able to see the different values. I'm going to do temperature 100, and I did it wrong. I should have done it to where a high temperature is warm and a low temperature is cool, but I didn't, and that's fine. Let's do another set and have it be the same as the other two, but these two, we're both going to have them be the candle variation. I'm not sure why it's not showing up immediately. That's all right. Is candle. Okay, so now we have the candle version of both of them. And what's another variation I want? I'll probably want bigger and smaller ones. So let's do a copy of all 4 of them. Let's group them so that I can resize them all together. Okay, that looks nice. What other variations will I want? I've got a couple of areas where, let's see, like this, where you can see that they kind of stack on top of each other, or these ones as they pass each other, they stack. So let's do that. Let's do a couple of those. They're all warm lights, so I'm going to do 2 of the warm lights almost on top of each other. Shift, Option, okay, and then, oops, I accidentally moved this one instead of copying it. Okay, and let's do a light bulb version of the same thing. Okay, those look pretty good outdoors. There's some things I'll probably mess with, but that's nice. So let's put those into a group so that we can just copy them easily. We've already got some of them in a group. Oops. Let's put them all in a group, and let's say test lights. Is that right? Yep. Okay. And move them, create copies of them in the different scenarios. So the background ones, interior. I actually only want bulb lights for underwater. I'm not going to have any warm underwater lights. So that is Which one was it? Bulb lights of that one. Okay. So everything looks pretty nice in these different scenarios already. I've done a lot of playing with it. But I think there are some things that could be better. For example, this background light, it's really, really bright. It's not, lights aren't as affected by fog as objects will be, but they're still going to be a little bit dimmer based on distance. So I think that in this light, I'm probably going to create some sort of opacity value. Yeah, that seems like a good idea. And the other thing that I'm not loving is that you have to get real close to tell that these are flickering and they look kind of slow. So let's go in here, and now we can go to the pulse. Oh, that's not the pulse. That's not the one. Is candle. Let's go to the is candle one. And the animation's pretty simple. It just goes big and then jumps right back to small instantly, which creates kind of a fun look. So the small value scale is 90%, so let's take it down to 80% and see what that does in this scene. That's a lot nicer. That looks a lot more like a candle, but let's speed it up. We can take this and let's do 1.3 times speed in the timeline. And since everything's going to do it, you can just do it in the timeline. Sometimes I like to change the speed in the state machine instead here, because it's nice sometimes to have it be slower when you're testing it in the component, but faster when you're using it, or testing the timeline, and faster when you're actually using it in real life. But in this case, I think I want everything faster. Oh yeah, and that looks a lot nicer. Okay. So that is how I do visual testing in Rive.